Hello, comic book junkies. It's the Frog Queen here, and today I'm coming at you with another comic book review. Today I'm going to just quickly talk about 3 comics that I read just over the last few days. I think some of them are coming out. They're not out yet. These are advanced reviews. Actually, it's just 2 comics. Oh my god, what am I saying? I'm the worst. The worst. I need more caffeine, okay? Alright, caffeine. This stuff, delicious. I'm addicted to it. It's this company called T-North. It's my friend's company, actually. And it's just T-pop. It's delicious. Anyway. So, I thought I'd talk a little bit about Family Tree. I got to read issue 1 of Family Tree. And it's that new Jeff Lemire book that's coming out with Image. He's not drawing it. He's only written it. So... it's a bit of a different kind of book. It doesn't even feel like a Lemire book until you really get into like the script and get halfway through the issue, and then you're like, okay, yeah, sure, this is Lemire. So basically, Family Tree follows like a very cynical and apathetic single mom at the beginning as she's kind of struggling to find help for her youngest, who is apparently slowly turning into a tree. She's sprouting branches, and I don't think she's the only one. So you could speculate that this is some sort of nature apocalypse, as in like nature fighting back to help rid the planet of its most dangerous plague, which would be us, humanity. But that's just my first guess. I don't know. I'm just speculating, like I said. So Image Comics actually described this as a genre-defying book, but to me it doesn't feel genre-defying so far. In fact, it feels like it belongs on the epidemic apocalypse genre. It's not post-apocalypse, but it feels like it's the beginning of the apocalypse, so like pre-apocalyptic, which is actually a genre, by the way. Image, hello. But there are some unique qualities to this book that kind of do make it feel like slice of life and things, where you get like a really good look at the single mom struggle before the tree growing happens. And it seems to me that often I do notice this thing with comics. Okay, so for me, like a good panel conveys like the height of the emotion that the script is like then talking about. So if we're talking about like conversational panels, then in my mind, like a good comic has like the height of the emotion from that panel depicted on the character's face in that panel. And this kind of comic was kind of weird, and I wonder if it was like a purposeful choice, like if it was made on purpose, or if this was like a blunder. But in this case, there's a lack of emotion on the faces of most of the characters. And even when something feels like it should have a lot of passion behind it, it just doesn't. It isn't there on the characters' faces. And I began to wonder, like as I was reading, if it was just because a lot of the characters in this book are just so dejected, and they're just too, even though they're saying things, if it's all coming off as much more cynical, and therefore their faces don't hold the proper emotion that you'd expect for what they're saying. So yeah, that was kind of interesting. I thought that it just kind of set it apart for me, because like I've always found like Lemire's himself, when he's drawing and his illustrations with his writing, you would see a different kind of facial expressions and stuff on the characters' faces. Although, of course, he did do a lot of really depressing stuff where he had a lot of flat faces. Like, that was kind of part of it, because a lot of his stuff's really depressing. Anyway, it's an interesting book. I definitely think it's worth a read. I do wish it was illustrated by Jeff. Honestly, I just really like his artwork, but I understand that like he generally has several series on the go at once, and it's not really realistic of him to try and draw those all himself. He's writing so many. Even I think Black Hammer comes back very soon, so that's another one. So this Dark Horse, he's always writing stuff for Valiant. And he's always got a few books out with Image at any given time, so he's a busy man. The other comic I wanted to just quickly talk about too was one I didn't like. So I liked Family Tree. I will continue reading it. And then I've been trying to dive back into the Valiant universe. And I picked up Roku number 1. Oh my god, I'm going like this. No, number 1. And I couldn't get through it. Now, I love Cullen Bunn. I've read tons and tons of his books. I love his horror books. Wasn't such a big fan of Punk Mabo. It just wasn't my thing, but it was a pretty good book. But, what is this? What is this book? So she's supposed to be like one of the greatest assassins in the world. That's what Roku is supposed to be about. Anyway, and when I opened up the book and saw the artwork, it's just so uninspired. Like, that's how I felt about it. It's not that terrible. It's not that great, to be honest with you. Like, just in like terms of like artistic, all the characters feel really soft. It's like meat and potatoes. Like, it's very bare bonesy. It doesn't feel inspired at all. And I think like it's largely due to the coloring rather than the pencils and the inks, but it just feels so flat and dull and uninspired. And I'm trying to read the story and I'm just getting frustrated and infuriated with this horrible artwork. I'm so sorry. I'm so insulting somebody out there. I hate saying bad things about books. That's why when I really don't like books, I don't cover them a lot of the time because I just feel bad. But yeah, I had to just explain like, wow, how uninspired can we be here? Like, it is dull. And so it detracts from the story. I couldn't even finish it, to be perfectly honest with you. So this is like a very short review. I really like Cullen's work, but what? My God, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out who the book was even for, because there's some things about it that make me think that because, you know, the main character, she's like busty and gorgeous, but like because the artwork is so uninspired and dull and the storyline is just about some assassin, and that's dull to me as well, that this was really aimed at like 15, 16-year-old boys. Like, it's really what it feels like, because there's just such a prominent like air of serious immaturity to the artwork, and it just feels so underdeveloped. I think that's part of it too. Like, it just feels so underdeveloped. I mean, you can take some trashy stories and make them sell with the right artwork, but this is a flop to me. So maybe I'm wrong and Cullen's gonna hit it out of the park, because he's just a good writer. I think he could write make a lot of dull kind of plot lines really good. And maybe this story is going somewhere. I just could not get through it because of the fucking artwork. Oops, I swear. I keep forgetting I'm on YouTube and I'm not just in my house. Anyway, we're on the phone bitching about comics. And I swore again. I'm never going to be a big YouTuber. I know this, so it doesn't really matter, right? I can swear all I want. Anyway, so I think that's definitely a miss. Like, I don't know what was going on with this Roku book. And, you know, the cover art and the sneak peek art that they had initially sent out a while back looked really good. So I was like keeping it on my radar. No, not going back for that one. Sorry. Anyway, thank you so much for tuning in. That's my kind of brief back-to-back kind of review of 2 books that are upcoming. I'll try and put the dates in the description below. Hopefully I'll have this up before those books are actually released. But yeah, definitely check out Family Tree. If you love Jeff Lemire, you're probably going to like this book. Even if you like Cullen Bunn's other work, his horror stuff, probably just skip Roku. I'm sorry. It's not a good one for me. Anyways, until next time, read something good. Bye.